We'll start out today's movement practice with another set of release techniques to help shed that outer layer of gripping and holding we may have developed through stress, through sitting at our computers, whatever the reason is. You won't actually need a chair for today. I just want to show a variation using a chair if that's helpful for you. You can do this first part just standing, but do grab a blanket or towel. If you have one, a strap. And then I have just this hard lacrosse ball. You can use any small hard ball. You could use a tennis ball, it's just not as firm. A golf ball is just going to be a little bit more intense. But I'll also give you another variation if you don't have this available, so stick with me. We're going to start by connecting into the feet. As I've mentioned, we're doing some work on our kidney energy. We're connecting a little bit more into those deeper lines of the body, and the kidney meridian actually starts at the bottom of the feet. As well, if you have done any sort of reflexology or yin yoga, you might have learned a little bit about how you can really connect into the organ systems through the feet. And the feet are really a microcosm of the whole body, as well as the hands and the ears in a similar way. So we're going to start by rolling the ball underneath our feet. This is going to help us access that line, but it's also going to help us to release the actual muscular and fascial tension in the back of the body. So before we begin, I actually like to do this as sort of a comparison. So if you're in a seat, you could just simply fold forward, right? If you're standing, you can come into a standing forward fold. And bend your knees as you come into this because you're probably not super warmed up. Part of the point here is to feel kind of that natural limitation and where you're really holding and gripping tension in the back of the body. And then just go ahead and come out of that. So either staying in a standing position or coming back to sit if you want to do this in a chair. The chair is just going to add a little extra layer of stability. Take the ball underneath your foot and then just roll it. So obviously if you're standing, it's a little bit more of a balance challenge. You could place a hand on a wall for extra stability if you wanted it. And you're also probably going to feel a bit more pressure if you're standing. So this is a little bit more of a gentle approach. So you can rub it up and down the outer arch of the foot, along the middle, and along the inner. And so as I was saying, the foot mirrors the body. You have the heel, which connects into the lower part of the body, the legs and the hips. You have the mid section of the foot, which is where the arch is, which is the mid section of the body. So right in the middle of the foot is where the kidney line is. Then you have the top of the foot and into the toes, which really connects up into the bronchial space, the throat, and eventually the head, which is connected into all of the toes. And then just keep rolling it. And you might notice some spots that are a little bit tender. And while you don't want to jab a ball into a bruise, you might want to just kind of circle around that space. And then whenever you're ready, you'll just switch. And so I'll show this if you're doing it standing. You have a little bit more leverage standing to put pressure in certain spots of the foot. And you might notice different places in this foot than the other side that are tender. You might feel some kind of crystally, crackly kind of spots. And that's all totally normal. Some of it is local tension you hold in your foot, and some of it is referred tension from those lines of connectivity in the body. In a very physical plane, we have a fascial connection from the bottoms of the feet all the way up the back of the body, all the way up the length of the spine to the back of the head, and then eventually coming over the top of the head and connecting to the eyes. So this simple practice is a really nice way to release that whole line of the body. Keep doing that if you're working on it. And just to show you, if you didn't happen to have a ball, it's not going to be exactly the same, but you can just kind of massage with your knuckles up and down, and you'll feel some spaces. You can give yourself, my ball rolled away. You can give yourself a little foot massage. It's always really nice to start to feel into some of those points. When you finish, try to take that forward fold again. And it may not be the most profound difference, but likely you're going to feel a little bit more release in the back of the body, depending on how long you went in that practice. And just let the weight of your head get heavy. Keep a bend in the knees so you're supporting your back with your lower body. And then when you're ready, go ahead and roll yourself up. If you're seated, you can stay seated. And then you can also do this part standing. Grab a blanket. You could do this without a blanket. It just gives you a soft connection to the ground, so it's not as much pressure. And then I like to do this on the chair just again for extra stability and because you can maneuver a little bit more with your foot. You're getting into the top of the foot in a similar way you were rolling the bottom of the foot with the ball. Just rocking, circling a little bit through the ankle. Right, and getting into some of that harder shell space of the top of the foot, the bones there. And then you can kind of just place the foot down and feel like you're trying to drag the foot forward. For some, this may feel like it's too intense, in which case you might actually prefer to do this standing, where you can always use your hand on the chair or a wall for support, or you might find that it's enough just to relax your arms down. And then feeling that pull, notice the line of connectivity from the top of the foot into the front of the leg and maybe into the front of the pelvis and into the belly. And then just release that. Switch sides. So if you're standing, just bring your left foot back. If you're seated, bend the knee, place the top of the foot down, and then rock from side to side. So standing, it just looks like that. And again, you might hear some little crickly, crystally popping sounds. It's normal, just noticing if you get uncomfortable or it starts to feel painful at all, and then just stop. And then pressing lightly down through the top of the foot, try and drag the foot forward. And if you're standing, same thing, try to drag the foot forward. You'll feel the intensity more of the front of the hip here standing. So you might even try it both ways. And then when you're done with that, just go ahead and release. And then we're going to make our way down onto our backs. Find your way down to the ground and bring your strap with you. If you don't happen to have a strap or one that's long enough, you can do this whole set of exercises without the strap. The strap is just going to add another layer of feedback as well as create a boundary of stability for our pelvis. If you are using your strap, you'll take your loop, bring it around the ball of your left foot, and you want the end that's furthest away from the buckle to be wrapping around the foot. And then buckle's going to come over outside of the right hip, and that strap is going to go right into the inner right thigh, inner right hip crease. Now you can do this on your back. I just wanted to show you from that seated position. Reposition once you get there, tightening the strap so you feel held in the shape. You're using your left foot as a little bit of a gas pedal, pressing on it to get more tension in the strap, but you don't want it to be so tight that you feel any cutting off of circulation in the hip or that you're unable to hold on to your leg. As I said, this is a release exercise, so it may not feel like a profound shift right in the beginning, but it's one of those practices that as we sit with it longer, as we start to cultivate patience within ourselves, then we're able to settle our nervous system down and give ourselves permission to let go. We're connecting into the psoas muscle within the deep inner pelvis, right, which attaches to the lower back and the inner thigh. Right? If you were to just try and force a stretch of this muscle, it's going to contract and react. With patience, with time, we're allowing the space of the body to release its need to hold on. Drawing your knee gently in towards your chest, interlacing hands on your shin. You can close your eyes here if you'd like. And then feel a press of your left foot into the strap and a little tug of your right hip. And you may even feel your right sitting bone start to draw towards the floor, your right thigh starting to settle a little further into your hip. And then gently hugging the knee back towards the body and finding that middle space of tension, suspension of shape, so that you might feel a little bit of sensation and movement, but it's not going to be a big effort. And let your shoulders relax, soften your breath. Take 5 more breaths and just count out your last 5 breaths. When you finish your count of 5, take your hands, slide them behind your right thigh, and then just extend and bend that right leg a few times. And then take your leg until it's almost straight. Keep a little micro bend in the knee. Press your left foot into your strap again and feel your right thigh settle a little deeper into the hip. You can always adjust the buckle as you need. And just point and flex your right foot. Then pointing your toes, circle your ankle in one direction. And then go the other way. Pressing your left foot into the strap, press your thigh into your hands, reach your heel up towards the ceiling as you plug your thigh a little more into your hip, and just feel that. Re-bend your knee, hug your knee towards your body, keep the connection of your left foot to the strap, and then you'll drop your right arm out to the side, and then we're gonna just move in and out of a twist. So take a breath in here, and then as you exhale, start to take the leg over the body, just go to the end of the breath out. Inhale, come out of it. And exhale, go back in. Inhaling, back of the hips find the ground. Exhaling to twist. Let's do that just 2 more times. Just a gentle turning of the spine. No sense of force or pressure. And then come on to your back. Set your right foot down. And then you're going to just slide your right leg out. Shift your strap around so the buckle is outside of your left hip. And then draw your left knee into your chest. Just to press into your foot. If it gets caught around the arch, lift your foot, slide it around the ball of the foot as best as you can. Interlace your hands on your shin. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Press your right foot into the strap. Feel the sense of settling and drawing in of your thigh into your hip. And you might find that the knee pulls a little bit away as you do that. Keep the tension of the foot pressing into the strap as you gently draw your knee in. Let your eyes close here. Relax any holding, any gripping in your shoulders. Back of the head heavy. Then noticing the movement of your breath. Count out 10 breaths here. When you complete your 10 count, hands behind your thigh, extend and bend your left leg. Extending the leg till it is almost straight, point and flex your foot. Point your toes, circle your ankle. And switch your direction. Pull your knee into your chest. Just right hand to the left knee. Left arm is going to extend out away from the body. Take a breath in here, and almost like you're breathing into the back of your ribs. And then with your exhale, twist. Coming back to middle. Exhaling, revolve. And then take a few more cycles with your own breath, not stopping in the twist, just going to the end of the exhale and returning back to center. Come on to your back, gentle hug of the knee to the chest, and then extend the leg. Pause here as if you were coming into Shavasana. Close your eyes, rest your hands on your hips. Let the weight of your legs get heavy. See what you notice. What do you notice about physical sensation in the body? What do you notice about your energy? And then when you're ready, bend your knees, set your feet to the floor. You can just place your strap out of the way and we'll come into a tabletop. So we'll start to find our way into hands and knees. But first, if you watched the theory video and went through the magic square on the hand, we can use that here to really feel for plugging our palms into the floor and creating more stability for the shoulders. So follow along with me if you still have that. If not, just following your mind along as I call it out. But you'll place your hands flat down onto the floor, about shoulder distance. And then just set yourself up into a comfortable tabletop. For a moment, close your eyes, travel your mind down into your hands. And now imagine a line drawing from the tip of your middle finger all the way down to the heel of your hand. We have one. Plug the heel, very center of your hand down. And then take your mind up to your index finger knuckle. Plug it in. And then imagine you're drawing a line over the top of your hand to the middle of the pinky edge of your palm. Hi, Violet. And from the middle of the pinky edge of your palm, take your imagination and plug in the knuckle beneath your pinky. And then go to the center of the palm, the knuckle beneath the thumb, up to the space between the thumb and the index finger. And then once again, drawing a line over the top of the hand, find the outer lower heel of the hand near the wrist. Finally, drawing that line back up through the middle finger so that you finish where you began. You can keep going through the circuitry, plugging the hands in, finding new connections. From here, you'll keep your hands as they are, keep your left foot plugged in, and take your right knee out to the side. Revolve the right leg and bring it back to the middle. So try and keep that right angle in the knee as best as you can. You can flex your right foot so that you have stability in everything except for the joint that's moving. We'll take about 5 rotations in that direction. And then reverse and go the other way. Just letting the thigh move around and swirl around in the hip socket. And set your knee to the ground. You can release the back of the wrist. And then feel your hands plugged back in. Take your left knee out to the side. And then begin to circle the thigh and the hip. Keep your hands evenly plugged down as best as you can. So you might start to notice some weight shift. When you're ready, reverse the direction. And then set your knee down to the ground. Revolving the shoulders to turn the wrists. Start with your right arm, reach it forward, up, and around like you're doing a backstroke. And then flip your middle finger to face back. And then from there, take it forward. Switching sides, left arm will circle around. And then it'll come forward again. So like a backstroke. And then a freestyle. So it's a little bit more gentle on the wrist to do it alternating, one hand at a time. Or you can start to create this full rotation, flipping both hands together, and then flipping both hands forward. So play with that for just a couple more rounds. Notice where you get stuck. And just move around it the best that you can. If it feels okay today, landing with the wrists flipped, start to circle around in one direction. And if it's too intense here with the palms flipped for right now, turn your fingertips to face forward again. Circle the other way. And then bring yourself back to the middle. Slowly peel your hands off of the floor and come to sit. So sit on whatever you'd like. I'm sitting on a block, but you can sit on a chair or just on the ground. But I do encourage you to get in that habit of elevating your hips above your knees. So sitting up a little higher is going to just be overall a better experience for your spine along the way. Coming into neck rotations now. Bring your hands into fists. Reach your fist down towards the floor. And then another way to do this, depending on how you're sitting, is you could also reach under and grab a hold of your shins. So you're really just creating that boundary of stability again in the arms. And then if you have the shins, you can bend the elbows. You draw your shoulders further away from your ears. Dropping your chin into your chest, slowly circle your head around. And just taking about 4 or 5 circles in one direction, switching, going the other way when you're ready. And then bring your head back up to neutral. This last set of exercises is for the eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take the gaze of your eyes as far over to your left as you can. And then take the gaze of your eyes as far over to the right as you can. And then to the left. And then to the right. And then one more time, as far over to the left. And then all the way over to the right. Now relax your eyes in neutral, looking straight ahead, keeping the lids softly sealed. And then take the gaze of your eyes all the way up towards the ceiling. And then turn your eyeballs all the way down towards the floor. And then all the way up and all the way down. And one more time, up and then down. And then rest your eyes in neutral. And now taking your gaze all the way up again, imagine that you are turning your eyes around all of the numbers in a clock. So circling clockwise. Go slowly and try and revolve your eyes around the full circle of the clock 2 more times. And then resting them back in neutral. And then last time, looking all the way down now. And then turn your eyes counterclockwise. And then rest your eyes back in neutral. Bring your palms together, press and rub your hands, keep your eyes closed. And then place your hands over your eyes. Feel the warmth of your hands moving into your face. Put a little bit of pressure into the eyes, not so much that you see stars, but just to seal out the light. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale a sigh out through your mouth.